Are you tuned in, or
Yeah, I'm tuned enough. I can do this.
are they saying hi?
Yeah, a little, but not very strongly.
I want to know the technology they're going to use to transport him here. Is it technology on their planet?
It's probably technology from their allied races and not on their planet. They probably send him off the planet with their own technology, and he like... Oh, that was an exhaustive walk. Oh, I'm out of breath. He probably is sent out from his planet. I do get a sense that it's possible, or even in this case, maybe probable, that they do it on the planet. And one of the other races that has the technology contacts them and they do it.
It's not like a Star Trek transporter where he disappears from there and appears over here.
No, it feels like it's more organic and like a lot of vials and tubes involved instead of like a machine that transports you. A lot of like splicing of DNA, a lot of hard groundwork.
Is that painful to him?
No, it doesn't seem like it's painful. It seems like it's pleasurable, or perhaps like normal. The same way a car ride for me may be pleasurable.
So would he travel through a wormhole then?
Maybe if the species that transports him here has like preference for wormhole, he would probably go FTL. I have a hunch. It's possible that they use the kind of FTL that they use in the Warhammer system, where you may actually appear before you left, and weird things like that can happen. That seems to be the universal best FTL in our like sphere of influence, because you can arrive before you left. So if somebody sends out like an SOS to you, and you send a ship to them, it can actually arrive before the disaster, and then participate in sending that SOS signal so it actually arrives like closest to paradox. You know, so there's actually no problem, but they send out an SOS to get the ship there, so there's no problem, so they send the signal, you know.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff can happen, so that they send like a very positive anthro to your childhood, so you would be interested in fighting the anthro now, so they can send it to your childhood. But when they send it to your childhood, they send another anthro there, which goes up into adulthood while you're going up to an adulthood, so you need an adult anthro. You know what I mean?
Do you think he's still making the decision, or has he left yet?
He's making the decision, and you haven't made it strong enough for him to leave yet.
Yeah.
But he's definitely, from what I see when we go out there, he's definitely like manifesting other bodies. He's doing the astral work, but his main body has probably not left his solar system. Perhaps it's left the solar system at some point in a vacation-like sense, but for this particular instance, it's not left its solar system, I think.
Yeah.
Oh. You mentioned you got a slight sense of weakness from the channelings.
Yeah, I felt like, you said like after the flu. It wasn't ill, it was like after,
Yeah.
when you're recovering.
Yeah. That's probably one of the downsides of channeling for such a long period of time and being involved in the channeling circuit. It's probably the after effect of that.
You built up a tolerance though to handle that, haven't you?
Yeah, but I clearly felt ill. Like the sensation of after effect of having the flu. Weak and distinctly feeling like your lower centers have been drained, but not in like an evil way.
Yeah.
Like distinctly that somebody drained your lower centers. That's probably because we're associating with such a trained mind, like physically trained. And when he moves our energy as well. So it felt like exercise in such a strong way. It's probably one of the reasons.
Can he project himself mentally to here, and could he like walk around here invisibly and see us?
Probably. It's probable that he has some sort of level of understanding of that. Perhaps not personally or as a society, but the people helping him in what I'd call the Anthro-Space program probably have the ability. So when he wants to project, they'll help him project, and that's probably what he's able to do. Like we have, if we want to project into their world, we have the ability to ask like our higher selves or use our own abilities, but most people ask higher selves instead of using their own abilities to project.
Yeah.
I do sense like I would be able to project into his world, and I do sense a lot of greens and blues and metal grays when I project into his world. greens and blues and metal grays.
I want him to choose to come whenever he feels that I'm ready. I don't want to just say, okay, I'm ready, because, I never know. I may not be.
Yeah. There's a few more of those things on your foot. One over there. I should have put the thing in the trash bag. I just realized that I threw it over the edge of the balcony. He probably is fairly resistant to going when he's not ready.
Yeah.
He'll probably have a fairly good understanding of only going when you're ready, but due to his explorative nature, he may make the decision sooner rather than later. He may make it very quickly. In terms of real interaction, it may be very quick for him instead of very slow for him because he's a very explorative nature.
If it's faster than light, how long is the trip to get here? By how long will in his subjective?
It's very dependent on what kind of civilization they use for it. It could be instantaneous, or it could take hundreds of years, and they could arrive in the Middle Ages. It's very possible to be instant, but it's also possible that it'll take a long time. It's hard for me to say because it depends on what kind of civilization he uses as a conduit. Because as far as I can tell, the Anthro civilization itself doesn't yet have FPL.
At least we're in the same kind of era, of development.
Yeah, in the similar period, and not
Middle Ages.
Yeah. He's still hunting witches while you're programming, you know what I mean? Are we talking about your Talpa or some other Anthro?
Another one.
Because I feel it's another one, it's not your Talpa. I fairly distinctly feel that.
Yeah, we suggested that I'm not going to try to manifest my Talpa.
Yeah.
He's in my mind. I'm not going to try to meet him.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. It would be like meeting a child. That would be weird to manifest as a romantic desire. Something I could possibly do because I have a weird mind. Oh. Still feeling kinda exhausted from that walk, which is weird.
To get your hat?
Yeah. My lung capacity is noticeably going down. It's very bad for me because I have bad lung capacity to start with. Maybe I should smoke asthma medication, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Smoke that. It's mostly dried up milk anyway. That's what a lot of the asthma medications are.
I hope when he comes here he knows how to make anthro drugs or something.
Yeah, that would be nice. I think he has a interest in learning that if he comes here, but doesn't probably have it now.
Yeah.
He's probably gonna learn all kinds of things about chemistry on this planet and how to simulate his own environment. I did get the sense that he recommended that one drug to you, but I don't know. He said he wanted you to do a drug that in my field resembled a combination of cannabis hash, ecstasy and LSD, but ecstasy in very small amounts and LSD not enough to produce good hallucinations, and probably most of it in hash. That's what it felt like to me. He said he wants you wants to take it with you, and I was like, or watch you take it or something, and I was like, interesting. I remember that.
It makes you feel warm and loving and fuzzy?
Yeah, that's what he described it as.
Do you smoke that, or?
I think it's probably edible. Something like LSD that dissolves in your mouth, and then after a long time you either swallow the piece of paper that the LSD was on or spit it out and either is fine. It's probably that kind of thing. It would probably be simulated by having good LSD blotter, one of those really small ones that, you know, the size of a pinky fingernail, taking 1/4 of it, smoking hash at the same time, and taking something like half to an eighth of one of those small ecstasy pills that you can order, which are like the smallest unit you can get like reasonably anywhere. That's probably the best way to simulate.
But I'm almost 300 pounds. What about my body weight?
Yeah, I don't think it would affect. That's probably the proper dosage for you. I always feel a little uncomfortable recommending drugs to people because they should be a private experience, but I understand his like desire to mention it.
Yeah.
I understand that. It's really hot in here. It's like middle of day again and I'm sweating like a pig being in the sunlight.
Is his plant, does he live in the hot or cool climate?
Hotter than what I live in, but colder than Texas.
Oh, because you might find this uncomfortable.
It might be a little uncomfortable, but I think it's one of the smaller discomforts. He'll probably adjust.
But when he goes from fur to skin, like, he's going to be more comfortable.
Yeah. It's going to be weird for him feeling the like air on his skin instead of like through the fur sensation. It's going to be weird for him. Fur, if it was very bright white, would probably be colder than skin, I think. If it's dark, it'll probably heat up really badly. You want to look out?
Are we going to be out here for a little bit?
Yeah, I think we're going to be out here for long enough. At least we can get to know Loki.
Loki!
Cookie. Hey, Cookie. Hey, giant drooling ball of fur. It's hot in here, isn't it? Do you regret coming out? No, you're very good. You're good with the heat. Oh man, my skin is almost full of those dog hairs again. Sweaty hands, so they become attached to me really easily. Now when I put like more weed in my bong, it's gonna like be very annoying.
So if they transport him to FTL, are they transporting an actual body, a human body, or what?
It's probably something in between, like if they transport him to like orbit and switch the body there, I think that feels like perhaps most appropriate, considering how like they'd have to preserve the body on their home world, and like I said, it feels like their home world isn't equipped to handle a lot of like cold storage of bodies. It would be weird for them. Like I said, that's what I feel like. So it might be possible that they transport his anthro body to Earth and do all the work except switching the body before that. And then in orbit he can finally make his mind if he wants to shift into a human body. They could even make him walk around the planet in his anthro body before they switch. You know, that would.
How would they fit in?
You know, forests and such. Not with people around, just to feel like what it feels like to breathe the atmosphere, what the wildlife is like. Does he get like any allergy reactions, you know, stuff like that. They could probably figure it out before he switches over. It feels more natural to me than switching in his own body, in his own society, to our body, and then transporting him in like even energy form. It feels more natural that he'd have the opportunity to see our planet with his own body before he switches.
Yeah.
It feels more natural to me, at least.
Is the human body is it like a volunteer that volunteers to do this, or is it just an empty shell that they?
It's probably a human body if they do a walk-in that volunteers, otherwise it would be a possession. And if they have to make a new body out of scratch, that's possibly likely that they'll be able to do that.
Yeah.
Like with the trickle vent technology, where like advanced to a higher point and finding like the proper sperm from like a trillion with the trickle vent and a proper egg from all the availables they have, and then like growing it up in a time dilation field and then doing that.
But the human body won't have any of his original anthro DNA, will it?
Depends on what they do with the like components in DNA. It's also possible that they'll like inject through various genetic modification means the anthro DNA into the body in some form. It wouldn't be impossible, at least as far as I know of. It wouldn't be impossible, I think. Oh, the sun went into the shade and it's much cooler now.
Yeah.
Man, that was hot. It's gonna come out soon again and burn me like crazy.
But there's no regrets at him leaving his past life behind, is there?
If he were to do so now, there would be. But probably when he's ready, there won't be, or at least they'll be very minor. Probably a little bit of homesickness, but that's about it.
I want to tell him that there's no rush. I'm not like...
Yeah, I think he gets that.
I want it to be...
I get the feeling that he's able to fairly clearly read your emotions, so if you go like, there's no rush, he'll pick it up. Hey Loki, is it hot in here? Because it damn sure is hot and he'll hear from me. And there we go. Sorry, I had my shoe there, we stepped on it.
So walk-ins aren't just like you go to sleep and you wake up with a new spirit. Sometimes a walk-in is, well, they take your body and then replace it or whatever.
Yeah, walk-ins can be many different things. They can take your entire body and replace it with some other body, and you would be a walk-in in that society. They can basically do that.
I'm still trying to integrate his field.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's the star or if it's him.
Mm-hmm. It's very hard to understand which one it is. It takes a lot of practice. In the beginning, you easily confuse the person with the star because the star doesn't change as much. It's much more constant. It's like seeing an individual person and realizing which of their emotions is the person. It's, that hard. Determining every time whether or not they're angry or it's somebody else and so on. It's a lot of work. You have a mosquito on your eyebrow. Flew away. I feel like something big's biting me on the leg. Probably not. Nah.
I don't know how I'm going to find out it's him if he doesn't want to bring up his anthro side.
Yeah, that'll be hard, but I think if you put a strong demand that you have to know that it's him, you'll probably know. Loki wants in already. Calm down, dog. Calm down. We can scratch you. You can't get that inside. For a short time. That's the life of a dog, out here for a short time and then gone. But you have to love them while they're here.
When people studied Krishna, they were really interested in his pastimes, like what he did.
I'm not aware of that, though I'm not aware of a lot of things having to do with Krishna.
I wonder what he does for fun.
Probably messes with humans, that's what most gods consider fun. But then again, that's probably just my bias talking.
What does the Anthro do for fun, though?
I get a feeling he plays a lot of computer games and plays competitive sports. Like things that you would understand to be computer games, and plays a lot of competitive sports for fun.
Oh, okay.
That's what I sense.
I won't be able to wrestle him or
Eventually,
competitive with him.
eventually, if you're with him, your body will get a lot more muscular because he lives the kind of life that would make you muscular as well.
Yeah.
You would be able to do it. And you're fairly strong already, not like very strong, but fairly strong. You can easily lift that water thing I have trouble with. And I'm not like very weak to begin with, but I'm not strong either.
I was able to push a riding lawnmower with a guy riding on it, like,
Yeah.
up a hill.
Yeah, that's probably what I mean by strong. We can probably watch that Seinfeld episode when we go inside.
That'd be good. Do you think I should ask something specific about it? Like, what's the interaction between
Red
me
ant on
and...
your leg. There. There you go. Now it's on my bag and it's walking towards me. Don't bite me, little bugger. I don't think you need to ask a specific question. You could just put out the energy of your situation out there and get a response.
Yeah.
Instead of like a question. Maybe we'll get the episode where there's this Finnish couple, which is really weird. You know the large water bottle with the fizzy water? There's a clear typo in the energy content thing. There's like one serving is something like 0 calories or something, and the full bottle is 10 calories. And if the full bottle has like 3 or 4 servings, so it can't be like 10 calories and 0 calories. And then there's like 200 milligrams of sodium in one service, but 530 in the whole bottle, or like potassium or something. And I'm like, these numbers can't be right. I'm like, these guys are pissing on me.
How many people, when we went out, did you see relating to our situation here?
A few, not many. I saw the black guy at the convenience store that I talked about, that I'm gonna see the hippie, the tall hippie with like a lanky structure, and I saw the black guy that looked exactly like that. And I saw the guy at the subway who like feels like an anthro guidance or some kind of guidance spirit for you. And I think I saw a few others, but I can't remember them. There weren't many that I saw.
Does this Anthro's energy stand out pretty strong because I've got a connection with him?
I haven't seen him in strong flesh yet, but when I talk to the world, he's much easier to pinpoint, but thanks to your connection than would be just some random anthro in a political office. Like I do with some of the channelings I do. I just contact a random like government official in their society. Then just talk with them. It's much easier to do it like this than like that. That consumes much more energy than this thing does.
Am I providing some?
Yeah, grounding and energy for the process quite clearly.
I'm like the battery, like Jim did.
Yeah, like we're doing a channeling like the raw channeling, you know. 2 of us. And
but channeling a 3rd density being is easier than a 6th density being.
Yeah, probably.
I probably shouldn't look for somebody that looks attractive to me, should I?
You should always have the basic condition that they look attractive to you.
Oh,
You can't basically date somebody you think is ugly. That doesn't work.
yeah.
They have to be attractive to you. You have to be honest with emotions like that. At least that's what I feel.
You remember when I was saying trillions of andros and I can't have one?
You're getting there with your spiritual practice. It's slowly taking you to a point with them. You're becoming more balanced every day, quite clearly. I could be wrong, and I could be leading you towards a huge psychotic episode, but somehow I doubt that.
No, I feel more integrated.
Yeah, I do feel you are more integrated. You've given up a lot of like negative tendencies and replaced them with good ones recently. You've done a lot of work.
Yeah. I still masturbate though.
Most of us do. I would recommend that practice if I weren't such a Puritan, but really it's a good practice. Preferred practice would be we all have a partner that we are content with, but that's kind of hard to manifest for everyone. I'm not like the Bible telling nobody spill their seed because it's evil and women in menstruation have to hide in a cage. You know, I don't have that. In fact, sex with a woman while she's menstruating is one of the best things ever. You get to pretend she's a virgin again. Everything is a little tighter and they're a little nuttier. You have to put a blanket on the bed though.
I'm not gonna have a false positive, or am I like? I think he's the one, and he's not the one. That may happen.
It may happen, but I think the stronger your connection is with him in astral, the stronger you'll feel a sudden like shock of wrongness about the situation.
Oh, yeah.
You'll feel that something is off or wrong, and you'll feel like perhaps repulsed by the situation.
Yeah.
That's what I feel will probably happen if you like pick the wrong one, you know?
Yeah.
If you have a strong connection with him at least. Maybe the right relationship for you in the astral term to be with the wrong one, but it's not the one you want, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, huge pop in the neck. Ow. That was painful and it wasn't even the right one. Oh well.
So you said you've been a matchmaker before?
Yeah, I've been a matchmaker.
But they've been
before.
humans.
Yeah, most of them have been like open humans. Some I'm a little concerned about or like curious about. They didn't appear human to me.
Yeah.
They appeared like shadow beasts to me.
Oh.
But for the most part, they've been human. Those shadow beasts need love too, says this Cupid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And most of them have been together for several years before they split. Some of the splits have been very painful and bad for them, but most of them were together for several years before they split.
But if I split up with him, things don't usually bother me for very long.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it was a meaningful relationship, it may tear me apart.
Yeah. But most of those people that I've basically set up seem like they were content with their relationships and just sad that they broke up. And, you know, blaming the relationship, going through the 5 stages of grief. But most of them did feel like they were happy with the relationship while it was lasting.
Yeah.
They didn't seem unhappy, so I think I did a good job as a Cupid, but it's never easy to know.
I don't think he would go through this much sacrifice if he knew it was going to end, or...
Everything ends eventually, little grasshopper. Yeah. But in the word that it's gonna end like badly or quickly, I don't think he's like really considering that option as a thing that he's aiming for. I think he feels like he's aiming for a longer relationship. I think so. That's kind of what I feel.
You think with time he'll open up more about his past, or?
Yeah, he may not completely remember it, and it's possible he'll go through some kind of regression therapy or something like that that will make him see his past.
Oh, hypnosis?
Something like that. I had a past life regression therapy once with my Reiki master, and it was a very pleasant experience. It's one of those things that I can do. I can also do the 4 elemental initiation, but it's a little more difficult, and you have to take at least one public shower. Well, public, you can be like privately with me, but I have to be there, and you have to have your like underpants on. And there's like very specific things you have to do with the water, turn it very cold and turn it very hot and stuff like that. But it's a very good meditation. It's a very hard practice, but you can do it. It's a very weird practice. Your shower tap water probably isn't cold enough or warm enough to do it well, though. You would need something that gives a stronger sensation of the opposite ends. You like start a cold water shower on your feet, and you work all the way up to your knee on both feet, and it's very cold. It has to be like almost ice cold, the coldest you can tolerate without it hurting. And then you turn it like very hot at the hottest temperature you can tolerate, and do the same area, like wash away the cold, and do like the same thing all the way up to the top of your head. And when you're at the top of your head, you have like ice cold water running on you, and the moment you feel like you become too cold, you turn it yourself into like a very warm position, the warmest you can take without burning.
Yeah.
And then you like at the same time you do the cold thing, you exhale, you inhale and exhale strongly through your nose. You like do bioenergy, you know, like
yeah.
You do that practice very strongly, and it warms you up, and the better you can do it, the less you feel the temperature, because you feel yourself more. And when you're done with it, you're very well connected to one of the elements, or possibly 2 of them. And then we do a meditation where the elements are around you, and you feel them rising up slowly towards the top of your head. And then when they're at the top of your head, they merge into like a 5th element, like light or something, basically. And then you let it like wash over you, and the meditation is complete. It's a very good practice, but it's a little hard to do. The past life meditation is just you lying on a bed, and we do like a meditation where I slowly take you through like a door and lead you into your past life, and you find yourself in a position in your past life, and you just like replay events and watch what happens. It's very interesting.
I've done a past life where I was an anthro in a past life.
It's interesting. Can you tell me more about it?
I died in the ocean or something. It was a QHHT session. My mom did it with me.
Yeah.
I was homosexual, but I got that they didn't accept me very well.
Yeah. And you drowned in the ocean. Almost feels like the women inundated you and you died as a result of it. You know, the ocean, a lot of water.
Yeah.
That's a very feminine symbol.
So how much will they go by what I am looking for, what I want, versus what he wants?
I feel like if both sides are balanced, it'll be 50-50. Nobody's perfectly balanced, but balanced in not wanting to drop the other.
Yeah.
And I think it'll probably be 50-50. He'll find attributes that he integrates into his field that will clearly piss you off, because that's life. But he will probably be fairly close to what you imagine him to be. I have that hunch.
He may curse like a sailor like my mom does.
Huh?
He may curse, shout curse and stuff like my mom does.
Yeah. Stuff like that. Love does have its downsides, you know. It's good that you agreed to do the video editing. I would have no idea of how to do it on that computer.
Do you want me to put both both of these audios together into one clip?
Yeah, it would probably be a good idea. I need to make more. I smoked everything.
Do you have it out here?
Yeah, I have it here. I hope none of those red ants get on me. They bite really hard.
Maybe he'll be able to bring a gift from his planet.
Yeah, like an anti-gravity engine for all our spaceships. Nah. It's like fairly likely that he'll bring something of a gift like nature with him. He may give you an actual gift. Or it may be something else. Maybe after you've been in a relationship for a while with him, he just gives you something and you realize it's a gift from the outdoor world.
A piece of his fur.
Yeah. I went to Africa and I got a piece of a lion's fur. Here you go. And you're like, ah. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. You know, it depends on how strong you are that it has to be, like, in quotes, genuine, because that's harder to do. I once found a piece of black amber, like, what's it called?
Obsidian?
Obsidian, there we go. I found a piece of obsidian that clearly had the markings of it having been used by humans as a carving tool.
Yeah.
It clearly had the markings of it. And I gave it to my ex and I don't know where it went. I hope she took good care of it. It was like, it looked very valuable in some time. Eventually it may be valuable, or it could have been valuable in the past.
Yeah. What does that do with being genuine?
You know, you get like harder gifts. It's harder to please you when you are genuine, and it's like more difficult, so they put in more effort into it and it becomes more harder instead of like, you know, softer. I feel like that. The more genuine you are. Though I could be wrong. Mostly a story about me giving stuff to somebody for no apparent reason. Which is probably what he'll feel like when he gives you that thing for no apparent reason. A primitive human gifted me an alien worker with a tool of his kind. I will treasure this forever is probably what my girlfriend really thought. Us goddess aliens always get weird gifts, but this is from a primitive time in humanity's history. He said that I'm like the primitive spirit and I move him to a good direction. Or something weird like that. You know, I can imagine Dandy reacting weirdly when KJ gives him like an old carving tool, you know what I mean?
Oh.
I could imagine that happening. It's not an episode, but I can imagine it happening. Going like, oh, so touching. You know, I can see that happening. I really need that chiropractic work fairly soon. Sooner rather than later. If I don't get it here, I need to get it at home. I wonder if that's the dogs or your mother trampling around there.
It sounds like it's coming from somewhere else.
It definitely comes from that direction, I think. Yes, definitely from that direction.
So will his DNA allow him to shapeshift or not?
probably depends on what attributes he chooses, but it wouldn't be an impossibility, though it's probably very unlikely. Maybe he'll be able to do the things that I've seen people do.
Yeah.
You know?
Just change in your, like, get in your mind and project an image or something?
Yeah, like project an image or do like very strong emotional uncontrolled shape-shifting when you suddenly like become a ball of light or something like that, but not perhaps able to like intentionally and at all times at will shift from a anthro to a human. Maybe something like that.
Yeah. How long do you wait before you declare somebody your girlfriend?
It depends on what kind of a person you are, but I do have a sense of waiting for 9 months before I actively start dating someone.
Oh, I thought that was just the sex.
It's also the sex, but I can call them like my girlfriend, but it feels a little early. I could take the situation to become monogamous at the beginning and demand that they don't have sex with anyone else and then still wait the 9 months. I could do that, for example.
Yeah.
And that would probably be a good idea for me, but I do feel like I'd want to wait the 9 months before I dive into a situation. I feel that. But all people are different. It depends on your love.
Does my love and my pull have to be strong enough for them to have taken interest?
Yeah, you have to have a strong, like, steady desire for the thing. It doesn't have to be strong in the energy you put out, but it has to be strong in that it has to be steady. But they can probably take an interest in somebody who's very new to them, at least, like, as well. But it feels like your energy should probably be devoted, like, to a degree before you, like, imagine that they'll respond to you. But in your case, you probably already devoted enough because you don't see them responding to you when I see them responding to you. So your energy is already probably devoted enough for at least to contact the anthro race.
Yeah.
Like, I feel that's pretty strong in you because I do feel like they're trying to talk to you, but you're still blocking them out. I do feel that. But the third chakra being healed is gonna help that one, like, very tremendously.
Do you think I would make the relationship complicated for him, or am I pretty straightforward and easy to...
It would probably be complicated enough for him to keep interest, that you aren't like a monotonous person.
Yeah.
But there would be a degree of uncertainty about it, but you do feel like fairly straightforward, that you're not like intentionally complicated. You feel like you want to be straightforward.
Yeah.
So it would probably be more of a straightforward thing. Let's do a whole video for every day we do this. Like,
not just on anthros, but everything?
Yeah, and I do mean that we don't have to put like 5 videos out there, like on the day we do 5 videos. We can edit them at the evening and put them into one video.
Yeah.
Unless we strongly change subjects in the middle. And I feel like it's probably a good idea to do the dialogue for the other topics as well in public. There would probably be interested parties, at least on Bring Forth, who want to hear our talk. There's probably a few people who want to do that. So, if you don't mind, I'd like to upload it to my YouTube.
Yours? Okay, yeah.
You can upload it to yours as well, but I do want to upload it to mine and link that there. And it's probably easier to keep it in one place so we can see how many views there are and the comments are in one place and so on.
Yeah.
So we don't do like an unnecessary split, which is why I hate like forums that become like an unnecessary split, but we can probably do it.
Are you going to post it to my Anthromate thread, or?
Probably a new thread all its own.
Oh.
Like me in Texas or something like that, and then post that and probably copy all the pictures as well.
Oh.
It's possible that I'll only link the pictures and bring forth, and not repost them, and link the thread on bring forth, and then post the video on both. That seems likely. This is a good convo.
Maybe if I get decent at psychic smelling, I could teach that to him.
Yeah. You could probably improve his sense of smell because of the fact that he's probably like in a less developed region of the galaxy, because he's at the outer edge. So there's probably a lot of spiritual things and like abilities you could teach him. You could do an initiation on him and see if he gets like healing powers, you know, because you now know how to make the initiation, because I described it in the forum. You could do that on him and see if he gets healing powers, you know what I mean?
Oh.
There's probably a lot of things you could do. I'm almost done. Then we can go inside and do the Seinfeld.
Cool off inside.
Yeah, it's damn hot in here. I feel like taking some of the ice in the soda and rub it on my face. It's starting to taste like water because so much of the ice has melted. It was interesting that the water on the Anthro's homeworld had a taste of eel and snail on it.
Did you taste it with your tongue, or did you? Oh.
Very clearly mouth taste, like almost taking a gulp, like a small sip of their ocean or their.
So if I was to drink that, I would probably be repulsed by it, or
initially, but you'd get used to it. You can get used to really weird kinds of water. Like standard American tap water has an insanely high amount of fluoride and chlorine and everything like that, and it's more than in a swimming hall in Finland where like a lot of people swim. That water has a lot of chlorine in it, but the tap water I got in like basically New England region had even more chlorine in it, like more than a public swimming pool, which was an insane amount to begin with. It's an insane amount of chlorine. It makes you really ill. I even took a bottle of it home and let my friends taste it and my family taste it, and they were like, this is amazing. How can they put this much chlorine in water?
What about my filter? Does it take the chlorine?
It's very good. It's very good. Your tap water, even the unfiltered one, doesn't have that much chlorine. You can literally smell it from the other end of the house when somebody pours water that has that much chlorine in it. It's insane. It really fucks people up like in a bad way when they drink that water. They really, really need a water filter. Otherwise their body will be completely contaminated. Yeah, so you can probably get used to their water really quickly. The water had that taste because much of their planet is rivers and lakes and close to shoreline oceans, unlike ours, which has a lot of deep dead oceans where no life really exists except for very small bacterial life. And our water tastes like that because of it. It tastes very fresh and deep, and theirs is like very shallow water. Even though they filter it much better than we do, the water's taste still remains. Did you hear about one guy who ate an entire snail and died because of it? Or like a leech on a dare and got like a brain infection and died.
The guy ate a gecko and died too.
Yeah, you shouldn't eat raw animals, that's just stupid.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. How stupid can you get? Very stupid by my understanding. It's much cooler now that the sun isn't out, but as soon as I thought that, the sun's coming out again. Almost overhead too, so this hat is good. I wonder if anyone else on Bring Forth will be interested to bring me over for a visit.
Maybe if they hear this talk, they maybe.
Yeah.
It feels like electricity flowing through me.
Huh. Interesting.
Not painful.
Why do you think so?
It's buzzy. It feels like a buzzing energy flowing through me.
Any idea why?
It's his connection with him.
Yeah, that's what I feel.
I'm still integrating his energy.
Yeah, that's what I feel as well, that now that we have a better grasp on his energies, it's turning from a weight into an electrical field. like instead of having to communicate with weights and like hard auric blobs and strong energies, they can now do pure electricity. That's what it feels like, because we've like integrated his energies through the channeling. It's kind of what I feel like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The last bit didn't come out, but it's clear enough. Okay, I'm ready to go inside.
Let me pause the recording.